The special meeting will come in order. Clerk, read the roll, please.
Councilor Capone.
Here.
Councilor Della Sola.
Here.
Councilor DeFlorio. Here. Councilor Hanlon.
Here.
Councilor McGonigal. Councilor McKinnon. Councilor Napolitano.
Here.
Councilor Sachetta.
Here.
Councilor Sani.
Here.
Councilor Simonelli.
Present.
Councilor Marquez.
Present.
9 members present.
And before we salute the flag, regrets Councilor Joe McGonigal due to personal obligation. Councilor Lee McKinnon unable to attend due to a conflict of obligations. Obligations. So they have conflicts of obligations, both of them. Stand and salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have a motion declaring Mr. Marchant the clerk for the night, please?
So moved.
Motion made, and we do a voice vote on that. You know? Motion made to have Mr. Marchant be the counsel for the night. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good to see you, clerk. Read the first order, please.
Item number 1 is an order offered by Councilor Michael K. Marchese as president. Public hearing for the auto repair mechanical license for Stadium Auto Solutions at 37 Everett Avenue.
Motion. I'd like to invite the,
Invite the party up.
motion made to invite the party up to explain and answer questions.
Are you supposed to say free and fair?
Get the other one of those seats there and see if it's on that mic.
Think so.
Have any questions for the petitioner? Counselor?
Thank you, Mr. President. Is this a new place that you're opening, or are you renewing? Are you operating at this location at the moment?
The location is open in
Let's see
2010.
it.
We were closed, and we opened up the auto sales. The business went closed for about 5 or 6 years. It was a gas station, repair facility, and auto sales. We renewed everything. Along the way, we somehow overlooked the repair license. And in March or April, I got a call from city council and said that I didn't have a permit in place. So, I said, what do we need to do? And here we are. We've gone through the variance, everything. It was an existing business, but because the license expired, they let me go through all the whole process, which is
So you're basically operating with an expired license?
We're operating, working on the used cars. We're obligated by the state to do state inspections. If we close up, they pull that license. So we're doing very minimal repairs just to stay open.
Now, you're doing repairs for the public, or you're doing repairs on your own cars?
On our own cars.
Your own cars?
Family, just the emergencies, just not to lose everything.
But you're not doing any repairs for, to the public? You're not?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President.
Counselor Hanlon?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Did I hear you say that you had a permit to do state inspections, automobile inspections?
A license, yeah.
So you can do, like when you have to bring your car, everybody has to bring their car in to get it inspected?
That's correct. Say it again, I'm sorry, I want to...
So we usually do not give those to people that are in the second-class motor dealers. We only give those to people that have mechanical repair shop licenses.
I'm not understanding the question.
How long have you had that license to do inspections?
25 years?
Do you know if any other automobile sales place in Everett has that kind of a license?
No, state inspection?
Yes, inspection
I'm
station.
not sure. I'm not sure.
And how long have you been at that location?
Which time?
The one with this one here?
Well, I was there from 1985 to 1997, and then I opened up a new place from, I'm sorry, not 1997, to 2006. In 2006, I went to 12 Vine Street until recently, and I just moved back to 37 Everett Avenue. So I've been there now for about a year.
Yeah, when you worked there, were you the owner?
Of
Were
the-
you the
yes.
owner all this time?
Yes.
I don't recognize you. I should recognize you.
I hope you recognize me. You've known me for about 25 years.
That's what I'm saying, unless you've changed a little bit.
I've gained about 60 pounds.
Okay, maybe. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Counselor Capone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Unfortunately, with age, we all gain a little bit of weight. But my understanding, this is my ward, my understanding on this is that, I know you've been in business for a while in the city with the, doing the secondhand, the sales, motor sales?
Auto repair and sales.
Okay. And I don't know of any complaints about your operation, the way you treat your customers, et cetera. I know that you were down in Vine for a while,
Correct.
over at Everett Ave.
Yes.
And then I think, used to be, the full gas station, the bays were taken out.
What happened in the time that we leased the place, when I wasn't there, there was a person that took the place over. He actually took the bays out without anybody knowing.
You owned the property, but he was leasing.
My mother's owned the property,
Okay.
and my father since 1973.
Okay, and so the person who was leasing it took the bays out.
Right.
Okay.
And then when we found that
It
out.
was a convenience store or
right.
something? Yeah,
We
okay.
put a stop to it, we evicted him, and then immediately set it back up the way it was originally
Okay,
dealt. In the interim,
okay.
the license expired. Honestly, I've carried licenses for, I have a folder
No,
here,
I know you
basically.
have, I know you have.
I've got the inspection license, we have all the, to run the gas station.
Mhm.
I have workman's comp, I mean, I have everything in place.
Okay.
Garage keepers, it was just an oversight on,
Yeah.
on my part on the license.
And if I understand it correctly, I think because you already had the one license, you can't have the two licenses on the same parcel, so you
I
had to
guess
get a variance.
yeah, it changed over, years ago, you had to have a repair shop to have
Yeah.
a deal, is now, I guess they've changed that.
Did you get your variance? When did you go through that process?
I'm pretty sure it was the end of June, right before the summer, before the 4th of July, I think it happened, right around the 4th of July.
Okay, so around the 4th of July. And then I think it was March or April, you realized that there wasn't a license there to repair the general public, but you did have your license for the dealership.
Yes,
Okay,
and for the gas station.
okay. So we've got the license to go forward for this year, and then maybe there might be an issue of the prior year. So
That's correct.
So there'd be 2 years' worth of license fees.
Whatever it takes to fix it.
I don't have any further questions for you right now. I appreciate all that information, and I'll ask our clerk what the, well, while I have you there, if I could. Mr. Clerk, do you have the paperwork in order over there? Does everything look good? Variance is there, everything is all set? Okay. I'll hold off. I don't have any other questions. If there are any other questions, I want to defer to that. But at the end, barring anything else I hear, if the petitioner is willing to pay for the license for this year and the one prior, I'd be in favor of allowing it. But I'll yield the floor to other councils to ask questions.
Before I give this to Council also, just a reminder that that family's been here 25 years. At the time when the dad wanted to retire and get ill, Anthony had a separate thing. That place has been in business for the longest of time.
Yep.
And when they had the problems with the person who was leasing from, they came up with a lot of money to get back in action there. So, I mean, the place is nice and cleaned up, and it's, it's being run well, as you can see, and, whatever it takes to keep them up and running, I mean, I'd be all for also. Council Del Sola?
Yes, how you doing? Are you associated with the dealership on the corner at all?
On the corner. On the property,
Yeah, the car dealership next to you.
yes. I have, I am associated with it, and I have a manager in place that runs it.
Okay. I think, I have no complaints. I've seen them there for many years. I don't see cars out in the street temporarily parked or in other spots that they shouldn't be, so, as far as I'm concerned, I got no complaints. Thank you.
Council Sani, I believe? They'll come up. Council Sani?
Thank you. Have you any complaints from the public at all, or any, your customers coming back and any court actions against you for any work being done on your property at all? For mechanical work
Oh,
already?
no,
No? So
no.
everybody's been happy with your work and no
As
problems?
far as I know, we've had no complaints,
Okay.
no calls to the Better Business Bureau, everything's pretty clean.
And you also sell cars, you said, over there?
Yeah, we have a
Okay.
10-car
And you have
license.
no problem with the customers coming back if they had a problem with the cars or anything?
If there's a problem, we usually take care of it, 100%.
I'd like to see, making sure that if you have anybody coming in and you're doing business, because I had a problem with someone in another area, and they were not good to the Everett residents or any residents around this community, so I'm hoping that you keep up, good business and.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank
Absolutely.
you. I have no problem, thank you.
Counselor Hanlon.
Nope. Simonelli first.
Counselor Simonelli.
I think everything's in order here. Just wondering, you're looking for a 2000 pickup truck, that's probably a Ford Ranger? Just wondering if you have one of those.
No, not a Ranger. I think there's an F-150 on the parking lot, though.
Okay.
A little bit bigger.
I think you're doing okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Do you have any more questions for the Counselor Hanlon?
You know, usually, when we have these kinds of meetings, we often ask the petitioner to come up and explain what he wants, and sort of, we sort of kind of bypass this evening, but I need now to go back to and ask you that question, and the main question is, why do you want this license?
Why?
Yes.
Well, I'm a mechanic. I've been a mechanic since I think I was born. I've been repairing cars, and I have a two-bay shop there that I want to work out of and basically feed my family. It's pretty simple. It's not a big operation. It's just run with me, usually 1 or 2 employees, and I just manage the whole site and make sure everything works.
Okay. Would that be in any way in conflict with the auto sales?
In conflict?
Yeah.
No, we work together, not.
No, I mean, because I know if you get a license for do auto sales, you have to have so many spots assigned for that part.
We actually turned in a plot plan with the designated parking. Basically, the car lot is on one side of the property. Then we have the gas station in the middle. They have 8 spots allocated for customers, people coming into the convenience store. And then looking at the building on the left side, we have about 8 or 9 spots.
Okay, you know why I don't know who you are?
Why?
I'm at the wrong corner.
Okay.
I really am. I was on Everett Ave and Chelsea Street.
No, the other corner.
You're on Revere Beach Parkway.
Revere Beach Parkway.
Okay, forget all those questions I asked you.
Now you know who I am.
Yes, okay.
And I still have gained 60 pounds.
Do you have any more questions?
Favorable action
for
on the
Steve
order?
Spoon? We have a public hearing first.
I'm sorry.
So the motion here would be to open to a public hearing.
Motion to open a public hearing?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to open to a public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
I oppose. Steve Spoon, you can sit there. At this time, what we'll do is, we'll ask the audience 3 times if they're in favor, and then 3 times if anybody's opposed. And then we'll just state your name and how you feel. So the first question right here will be, is anybody in favor of this license? If you'd like to speak, put your hand up, you can come up and speak. You also? Okay, is anybody in favor? Would you like to, anybody want to speak? Is anyone in favor? Do we have anyone wants to speak? No? Okay. Yes?
You're all in favor.
All in favor? Okay, at this
Could we have-
time,
Show of hands again, please. Show of hands again. 14, 15? 15? Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to-
Please, Mr., if we ask the clerk to record that we had 15 hands in favor.
15's in
of the
favor.
petition, thank you.
At this time, I'd like to ask, is anybody opposed to this petition? Would you like to speak, sir? Yes, I will.
Yes, have him
Anthony,
come
why
up.
don't you sit down and we'll have,
Is that mic not working?
no, there's no mic on it. If you'd like to speak, sir, come up here. Just state your name.
I'd like to set the record straight. My name is Gennaro Recupero. I'm Anthony DeSimone's cousin. He was working at he owned 12 Vine Street. He bought the shop. He worked there as a mechanic. and he ran that to the ground. He stopped paying taxes. He owed the tax, the city of Everett, over $80,000, which the city of Everett was about to foreclose. So Mr. Monteforti, who used to own I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous talking to you guys. But Monteforti is the person that sold him the building, and he held the mortgage. Not to lose the property, Monteforti foreclosed on him and paid the taxes himself. I've given him a huge loan. He's behind in payments for over 20 months on interest alone. Never mind the principal, on interest alone. He closed the shop. He claims he closed the shop. And I have a letter here, a certified letter from Ellen Carr, saying that he closed the shop in July 2013. That's not true. And he said, that says here that he moved over to Everett Ave, which he was supposed to get a license. He doesn't have a license to operate. He's been repairing vehicles, registered vehicles. Mr. Matarazzo, the city clerk, called me this morning because I've been sending him emails and pictures of vehicles being repaired at that shop. And the reason why I'm here is because I'm not being paid when he wants to make a living, but he doesn't want to pay the money he owes. So I'm completely against him being able to work if he's not going to pay me. And I think that's only fair. I also hold mortgage against his home in Wakefield. I held a mortgage against the Vine Street property, which I was eliminated because I was the second lien holder. I own a mortgage on his condo in New Hampshire. He refused to turn it over to me, so I had to foreclose on it, which is going to be foreclosed on Friday.
Excuse me, Mr. Cooper, stuff that you mentioned here probably belongs in a court somewhere. What we're discussing.
To his character. He shouldn't be allowed to do business, period. If that's the way he manages his business.
Okay. Excuse me, do you have any questions for Mr. Cooper? Councilor Capone, then Councilor Del Sol.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Recupero, where do you reside? You reside in Everett?
Billerica.
You live in Billerica. And you said that you were the petitioner's cousin?
Yes.
Okay. And you had loaned him money and
A huge amount of money.
And he hasn't been paying you back?
No.
Do you have anything specifically towards the way he runs a business versus personal debts that he might owe you?
He's been, he told the city that he was closed. He's been doing business for over a year without a license. Mr. Matarazzo told me that he sent you guys the emails that he sent them with the pictures, where it shows vehicles in the shop being repaired. I can show you pictures if you don't have those.
Okay.
He told me he sent them to you, but I
Okay.
have them on my phone.
Okay. All right. And now, it sounded like you have a lot of collateral. I think
I don't have any collateral. That's the problem. I have a loan out that I don't have any collateral against.
I thought you had a mortgage on his home and...
His home is way over mortgaged.
Okay. Well, I think I have to echo the sentiments of our president, that it sounds like the issues that you have are separate from his business. There's some sort of
Do you
financial...
want that type of person doing business in your city?
Well, that's my question for the clerk. If I don't have any complaints on his business license, if his taxes are current, if everything looks good, then the issue that you have with him is a private matter that needs to be dealt with outside of this realm. What we need to collectively as a body, I appreciate you coming up and giving us some background, but what we need to do as a body is we have to make sure that the petitioner is square with the city and that there aren't any complaints against the business, so that if we allow an individual to run a business, they're going to run it in a safe and effective manner for the city. They're going to be a good neighbor to the city. Now, your situation is a personal one with him, and that's not something that we can, or at least I personally wouldn't put on a license. I would be concerned if the individual who's looking for a petition owes the city money, has any kind of issues with that. That would be my
Isn't
concern.
$80,000 a lot of money to owe the city?
If it's outstanding at
No,
this
it's
point
no
in
longer
time,
outstanding because Mr.
then it's not an
McCoy-
issue. If it's outstanding, it's an issue. If it's current, it's a non-issue. So that's where I would come out on this. But I do appreciate your input. I don't have any further questions for the individual, but afterwards, I would like to ask our clerk a couple of questions. So I would reserve the opportunity to do that.
Sure. Counsel Del Sola?
May I say one thing?
Sure, I did think, just want to ask you a question there.
Isn't lying to the city something that you don't want to have? He told the city clerk that it was closed in July 2013, and
Do you mind if I approach
he has
the...
never closed the business. He transferred from one to the other. That's a certified copy from her. That's lying to the city. I don't want to do this, but he's forcing me to do this. That's a copy. I have the original. at
Just
home.
going to have him read it. so.
You can keep that. Actually, all these papers you can keep.
No, you can do it. Would you like him to read it?
It's up to the membership. I want them to have the benefit of the truth, if they wish. I'll leave it up to the body.
Does anybody want to hear this?
May I make another?
No, you may not. Motion on here, does anybody want to hear this? You want it? Okay, motion made, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, clerk? Turn on your red, turn on, John. No, turn on, green.
No one told me that. I've been talking, no one's been hearing me.
Yeah, that's why we did it.
Thank you. I have a letter dated April 2nd, 2014. Gennaro Recupero, 60 Newbury Street, Billerica, Mass. Dear Sir, according to our records, DeSimone Auto Solutions, owned by Anthony DeSimone, previously of 12 Vine Street, Everett, opened January 9th, 2006 and closed July 2013. Mr. DeSimone is in the process of opening at 35 to 37 Everett Avenue, Everett. He filed a business certificate on February 26, 2014, with the name Stadium Auto Solutions. If he is doing business at this location, he does not have a license. He will need to be approved by the Board of Appeals before a license is granted by the City Council. Sincerely, Ellen Carr, Assistant City Clerk.
President,
Yes, Counselor
well,
DeFlorio.
the clerk did say that he did go for the Board of Appeals, so he's got his license, he's done everything he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, that's,
So, what that letter says, and what he did the right thing. In other words, sometimes you do things not knowing or whatever, and then you fix it. So our position as city councilors, when we give licenses, is to make sure everything is in order, make sure his taxes are paid, and make sure everything is right. We can't go back on what he did yesterday. It's
Yep.
what's in front of us today.
Today,
And as far
exactly.
as the dispute goes, with family dispute, I feel like this is market basket right now. You know what I mean? So,
Well,
thank you.
He just lied to you just now.
Counselor Capone?
Yeah.
Sure.
If there are any other questions for the gentleman who's here, I'd like the council to get the chance to ask. If not, if we could excuse him, because I do have a couple of questions for our clerk.
Counselor Del
I
Sola,
would like to
your
add
questions?
I would like to add one more thing about something you just said about the auto sales, stadium auto sales. That's being rented to Lord and Son. They have nothing to do with it. His mother, she got the license. She has the license, okay? And they have nothing to do with Lord and Son. Lord and Son told Mr. Matarazzo that they were a religious congregation, okay? And they had nothing to do with the auto sales, but in fact, there are signs in the building saying Stadium Auto Sales, Lord and Son, with finance. Okay, so that's something, he just lied to you guys right here.
What is the name of the used car license under the DeSimone family, isn't it? Stadium Auto. I'm sorry.
Lord and Son are the people who are renting the spot.
If I,
Okay, keeping on,
if I
Councilor
could,
Capone, you-
if there are no further questions for this gentleman, exactly. And
Would anybody like to see the pictures of Lot and Son signs?
no.
if anyone wants to hear from the petitioner again to respond to these, if he feels he needs to, we could have him forward.
If you'd like to respond at this time. Thank you, Mr. Cooper, for your time. Thank you. One more time, is anybody in favor of this, is anybody against this petition? Anybody against this petition? Seeing none, that's it. I'll take a chance to respond to those. You don't have to worry about the allegations, that doesn't,
Yeah, no, I'll respond to the first comment with,
Counselor Hanlon. What's that?
Motion. Second motion.
Motion made and seconded to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
I oppose the matters before you, and if you would like, and would you like Mr. D. Simone to come before us? So moved.
Second.
well, obviously, you see there's a family issue here. The, to respond to the allegations of closing on July, 12 Vine Street closed July 2013, there's no lie in that. We moved over to 37. He actually helped me move, so he knows exactly what was going on. As I said, I did not know that there was a repair license not in place. I was never told there wasn't. I came up for all my licensing. If at any point anyone had said you have to renew this license, it would have been done. In April, when Jerry went to the city hall, obviously that's when he got that letter and I got my phone call that I did not have a license and that this is the steps I had to do from Ellen. And at that point, as I said, we went in front, we got the variance, we did everything I was asked to do. Building inspector's been there, fire department's been there, the insurance company's been there, they've done their walkthrough. Everything is in order to respond to that. On the used car side, it's a sign that basically says Stadium Auto Sales, Lord and Son. Lord and Son means nothing to any person, place. If it's an issue with Mr. Recupero, and if there's a problem, I can cut that little section right out. It's just, when the sign was made, that's the way it was made. It's basically doesn't stand for any name, any person. It's just a little, it's God. Basically, if there's a problem with that, we'll remove it. But it's got nothing at all to do with any other owners.
I think that's,
The license, the insurances, the dealer plate, I have everything right here. It's all in our name.
I missed the plate papers in order, everything's paid up to date. Do we have a question for petitioner while he's here? Counsel Del Sola.
It seems we have two issues here. You're going for your license and everything's in order. The other issue is the family dispute. Have you guys, I don't want to get too deep into it because it's kind of not our business, but it is when you're going for a license. Have you guys gone to court with this?
It's in process.
It's in process.
It's in process. Everything is in process. It's just a matter of, it was originally something that was supposed to be a partnership that turned into a loan, which I couldn't afford to pay, which
Now,
put
do you
me out of
own the city
business,
money right
and
now?
now I had to move.
Do you owe any taxes to the city of Everett? No?
Absolutely not.
Nothing.
Zero.
Okay.
Well, other than the next bill that's due.
Right, right. I mean, it seems like the paper's in order and he's paid what he has owed. I know it's an issue with the families, but I don't think that's we shouldn't be involved with that, as far as I'm concerned. And you answered my question. Thank you.
Counsel Cheddar?
Yes, I was going to make a motion for favorable action, but before I do, the reason I wanted to make that motion is the facts are he's gone through the process to get this license. He does have a problem financially with his relative, and that has nothing to do with this council. So again, I say, I make a motion for favorable action.
If we could excuse the petitioner first?
Excuse me?
If we could excuse the petitioner
Excuse
first?
me, but, thank you very much, Ms. D. Simone. You're all set.
Chairman.
Yeah, I hear it. Let's, let him leave.
No, I don't have a question. Mr. Mayor,
Councilor
parliamentary
Hanlon?
procedure says that we shall let the guests go before we make any motions.
That's what I was trying
And
to
I
let
know
him
we
know.
haven't been doing that. I'd like to make sure that we always do that in the future. The guest has got to leave before we make a motion.
That's why I was trying to dismiss them.
Thank you.
Counsel Capone, your motion,
Right.
your second of sales, but you also had about
Before
financial.
yes, before we act on it, I want to ask our clerk, paperwork you have is in order,
Yes,
variance has been granted,
yes.
license is in the name of the individual who's the petitioner. Any back taxes owed at all?
Like he said, paid through the last bill that he received.
Okay, and no
That's his,
complaints on file that
Real
you
estate
have?
tax, personal property, and water and sewer.
No complaints that you have on file?
Pardon me?
There's no complaints on file regarding the way he operates his businesses?
As far as I know.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I would like to amend the motion for favorable action. The petitioner did say around March or April, he got a notice that a license had expired, and the letter from Mr. Recupero is dated in April. The petitioner, when he was in front of us, did say that he is willing to pay the license fee for the prior year in case there was any overlap, and for the present. So what I would like to do is I would like to move for favorable action with two conditions. One, no, the floor is active, sir. What I'd like to do is favorable action with two conditions. One, I would like the petitioner to pay for the licensing fee for this year and for the year where there may have been an overlap, in fairness to every single auto body shop out there. And then the second thing is I would like to do a review in 6 months just to make sure everything is going well with the business and there aren't any concerns. And with those two conditions, I'd ask for favorable action.
Second.
Motion made for favorable action, amended by, no, you can't. It's over. Okay, whatever. Amended by a letter, by the letter in April, that the petitioner should pay for the prior year license fee and for the present fee, more or less bringing them up to date, plus what he may have missed last year. And second of all, to revisit this place in 6 months and to make sure everything's up and running, you know, everything's paid in time. And so the license will be issued upon payment of the prior year and the present, up to date. All in favor?
Aye.
I oppose, we have to.
Roll call vote.
Roll call vote.
Counselor Capone.
Yes.
Counselor Della Sola.
Yes.
Counselor DeFlorio. Counselor Hanlon.
Yes.
Counselor Napolitano.
Yes.
Counselor Sachetta.
Yes.
Counselor Sani.
Yes.
Counselor Simonelli.
Yes.
Counselor Marchese.
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
The license has been granted, and good luck and keep up the good work down there. Next order, number 2, clerk, read it.
Item number 2 is an order offered by Counselor Michael K. Marchese as president. To all parties interested in the petition for Comcast of Southern New England, Inc. to place 1 3-inch PVC conduit approximately 225 feet from pole number 1778 Victoria Street, located on the sidewalk of Victoria Street in a northeasterly direction to the rear of 421 to 425 Broadway. Said locations to be placed in accordance with plan titled Proposed Comcast Installation, 421 to 425 Broadway, Victoria Street, Municipal Parking Lot, plan on file in the city clerk's office.
Mr. President, please invite somebody up from Comcast.
Motion made to invite the petitioner to the podium. All in favor?
Aye.
I oppose. Oh, my God, that was quick. Do we have any questions for the petitioner? Just your
Earl
name and
Lawson, Project Coordinator, Comcast. This is to install a 3-inch PVC off pole 1778 Victoria Street, going through the municipal parking lot to the rear of 425 and 427 Broadway, so we can supply service to those commercial units in those buildings.
Councilor Sachetta?
Yes, on the installation of this conduit, when you go through the parking lot, how long a distance is that, and how many parking spaces are going to be not available for what period of time when you do this?
This will all be done in one day. Probably maybe 6, 7 parking spaces. Our attempt is to keep it open, traffic to come through. So once we go across where they make the loop to come up around, we'll put a steel plate there so traffic can still go through and still park on the right-hand side and on the left-hand side, right against Rite Aid.
So there's not gonna be any big tie-ups of parking spaces?
I don't
being,
foresee any, no.
Thank you.
Counselor Hanlon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What kind of service are you going to provide there?
Phone, internet, and video.
Is it for a company?
It's all business class, yes.
How many?
We have potentially 7 or 8 customers there that have requested service from Comcast. that
If
are at the
if we,
present
if we
time.
come out to Broadway, all right, and we look at the building, what stores would we see? Because I'm trying to place that building in my mind, where it
I think there's a Metro PCS in the front,
is. Okay,
the old sporting goods store, and I think there's a restaurant in one of the buildings too. It's, if you're looking
The
at the
sub shop.
building, it's not the bank, but it's the next 2 buildings after it. And then the one on the corner already has service.
okay, I got you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have any more questions? Counselor Capone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one through you. So that one, by getting that location over there, any of the buildings on the front of that location could tap into that?
Correct. We're gonna pre-wire 425 and 427. I think there's 11 potential, but we're gonna wire them anyways.
Okay.
They don't have to take it, but
Right.
the wire will be in
It would be
place.
available if they
Yes.
chose to use it?
Yep.
So this will be a one-time pass-through
One-time
for
pass-through.
installation? It'll cover, I think it's like from the bank all the way down to
Yes,
the
from the
dental
bank
place
to
in the corner?
I get
Real
the
estate.
buildings on the corner.
Okay, the dental
Yes.
office on the corner?
Yep.
That whole sleeve?
Yes.
Okay, and you said one day, 6 spots in and out?
That's what I'm seeing is about 6
Okay.
spots, yeah.
Try to do as minimal impact on traffic
Yes.
as you sure, you always do.
Yep.
But, okay, thank you, I have no other questions.
Counselor Hanlon.
Yeah, just one other question. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Nothing on Victoria Street?
No,
Sidewalk only?
the pole is on the parking lot side of Victoria Street.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions? Any more questions? Nothing there at this time.
Excuse the petition?
We'd like to excuse the petitioner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Entertain a
Favorable action
motion.
on the order?
Second motion.
Mr. Chairman, this is
We have to
a
motion for public,
public hearing.
Sorry.
Make a motion to open public hearings.
Second motion.
motion made second for public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? At this time, I'll ask 3 times who's in favor and ask 3 times who's opposed. We'll start it right now. Is anybody in favor? Is anybody in favor of this petition? Is anybody in favor of this petition? Seeing none? Oh, just one? That part is over. Anybody opposed to it? Is anybody opposed to it? Is anybody opposed to it? Seeing none?
Close the,
That part is over.
close the public participation.
Motion made to close public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
I oppose the matters before you.
Favorable action on the order.
Second motion.
Motion made, second favorable action. Clerk,
Call the roll.
roll call vote.
Counselor Capone?
Yes.
Counselor Delasola?
Yes.
Counselor DeFlorio? Counselor Hanlon?
Yes,
Counselor Napolitano? Counselor Sachetta?
Yes.
Counselor Sani?
Yes.
Counselor Simonelli?
Yes.
Counselor Marchese?
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Now petition has passed. Good luck. Number 3, please.
Mr. President, item number 3 is an order offered by Councilor Michael K. Marchese as president to all parties interested in a petition for National Grid to be granted permission excavate the public highways and to run and maintain underground electrical conduits together with such sustaining and protecting fixtures as it may find necessary for the transmission of electricity, said underground conduits to be located substantially in accordance with the plan filed in the city clerk's office, Spruce Street, Everett, Mass., Plan number 169-61826, Spruce Street, to install 2 4-inch PVC conduits from pole number 152 to property at number 34 Dartmouth Street.
Yep, put the formal motion.
On the motion, please invite them.
Motion made second to invite the petitioner. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? State your name, please, sir.
My name is Michael Benitez, representing National Grid.
Yes, you, please explain what,
We're just going to install two 4-inch PVC pipes across the sidewalk. The total distance is about 10 feet, but 5 feet across the sidewalk, to a transformer that will feed 34 Dartmouth Street, the Webster School.
Do we have any questions? Counselor Hanlon?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, is this a new building that you're bringing this to?
It's quite the addition they're putting on.
Yeah, they're upgrading the Webster School. It's in addition, so the new transformer is to feed the added load.
Thank you.
Counselor Florio?
Thank you, Mr. President. I made a comment before that I wasn't gonna give National Grid not anything else until we've got all the lights fixed in the cities. But because this is a school and the school needs it, I will be voting on this tonight. But we have an issue with light bulbs in the city and they need to be fixed. So I wanna make that clear. And like I said, because this is a school and it's important to educate our children, I will be voting on this tonight. But I did make a comment before that I was never gonna vote anything for National Grid until all the lights in the city were fixed, and that stands. So I want you to go back and tell your people that are up higher to explain to them that we want the lights in the city fixed. It's dark, it's dangerous, and so on. And I'm sorry if I'm out of hand, Mr. President. I don't mean to be. That's all the comment I have. Thank you.
Counselor Capone, then Counselor Sani.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you. How long of a project is this?
The excavation will take a day, even less.
They made the kitchen all electric in there, I believe. I don't believe there's any gas at all in that new kitchen there in the school, so it's all electric. That's why you have the increased electric going in there.
Right.
Okay.
Counselor Sani?
When you do the digging up, you're digging up the sidewalk, you said?
Right.
And also any part of the street?
No.
No? And when you repair it back, you're gonna put the sidewalk back nice and smooth and no bumps or anything, right?
Right. I mean, I'm not sure if it's concrete or asphalt, but
It's
if
concrete.
concrete, yeah.
'Cause we
So
just
they'll
had it-
replace the, yeah, they'll replace the entire slab, so it won't be just a patch.
Okay, and he already asked the question, how long, and, are you notifying the neighbors all down there, what's going on with the work and everything, to let them know in the neighborhood?
Yeah, I believe, a list was given, for this hearing, and, the excavators usually will, give a notice of when the work will take place.
Okay. Just let the neighborhood know what's going on down there when you're starting and, thank you.
You'll have an opportunity in a second. Counselor Del Sola?
Will this be done during school hours? This work on the,
If it needs to be done off hours, that can certainly happen. Doesn't
well,
need to
it's
take
done
place
once the
during-
kids go into school.
Right.
They can work between 8 and 1:30 and then,
Right, I mean, it could be done on a weekend, it could be done after hours, whatever is preferred.
you just look into that. I don't want to, because that's a real busy spot when the kids get out of school, as you probably know yourself.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Napolitano?
Thank you. Along the ideas of the hours that we're just talking about, you just want to make sure that the crew is aware of the work hours, how early they can start, how late they can work till.
Mhm.
We've had complaints in the neighborhood about different work being done before 7 a.m. And we just want to make sure that they're aware of that, conscious of that, and not creating additional disturbance to the neighborhood.
Okay, do you have those hours, and I can,
I believe we can, Ms. Clerk, can we provide them with the ordinance regarding how early they can start work and how late they can work till?
Okay.
We'll get that to you.
okay.
Do we have any more questions for the petitioner? Counselor Sejata?
How long is this gonna take when you get started?
Once we get started, it'll probably be an 8-hour project. It's,
Just an 8-hour day?
yeah, it's not a very long run, it's, 10 feet tall.
No one's gonna be shut off electricity-wise?
No.
Thank you.
Counselor DeFlorio?
Besides our ordinance, I'm gonna make a recommendation that you start after 8 o'clock when the kids are in school. Because if you start at 7 o'clock in the morning, when there's traffic going back and forth, it's gonna be a nightmare. So my recommendation is that you start after 8 o'clock in the morning, regardless of what the ordinance says. Well, the school gets out at 2, so. Are you talking about working on the weekend or weekday?
We can do it on the weekend, you know, so we're not interrupting any school traffic or anything like that, so.
So you can do it on a Saturday?
Yep.
So, okay,
Counselor Capone?
that's fine, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Along those lines, I think it's an excellent point. What I would recommend you do as well, if you talk to the administration of the Webster School, coordinate with them as well, because I don't know how desperate they are for the service, if they'd rather get you in there sooner, or if they would prefer it doesn't interfere with the school day and do it on a weekend. But touch base with them. If they do not have a preference, I think Councilor DeFlorio's recommendation is a valid one. We don't want to wake up our residents at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, so I'd push it a little bit later if we could. But if you could coordinate with the school and then be respectful of the neighborhood and the neighbors, I would appreciate that.
Mr. President, I believe there's someone in the audience that
Yeah,
wants to
we'll-
ask questions. Would
they
that be
will.
when you open the public hearing?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
That's how we do that.
I'm going to excuse with the customary thanks and
Okay.
make a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion made second, open the public hearing, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? At this time, quick question while we're here. You, not if you, sir, did you say you wanted to start late? Do it start at 9 o'clock?
Well, if either
Of
a
a
Saturday.
Saturday. All right. I mean, I like the
or
Saturday
after
idea,
8
to tell you the
o'clock
truth.
on a weekday, but on a Saturday, we don't want them there at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Well, you don't want to open the sidewalk at all, because there's
So-
kids there all day long.
Right, but either way, it would have to be after 8 o'clock, whether it's a Saturday or a weekday.
Okay, I wanted to just get that straight here.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, we will be opening this up to the public, and I will ask, is anybody in favor of this petition? Anybody in favor of this petition? Okay. Anybody in favor of this petition? Would you like to speak, miss? All right, thank you. That part of the public hearing is over. Is anybody against this petition? Sir, if you'd like to ask your question, you're welcome to come up here. I'm sorry.
I'm Rich Finocchio, I live on the corner of Dartmouth and Spruce.
Yep.
I only have one question. Is all the equipment going to be underground? Because they mention here, in addition to the conduit, it says any such sustaining and protecting fixtures they deem necessary. I don't know what that means. Is there anything going to be above the ground on the corner of Dartmouth and Spruce, or is it all conduit?
No, I think they're tapping into it, aren't they?
Because this is
Permission
kinda
to-
Please invite the petitioner up.
Motion made to invite the petitioner up. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Seems to me, you can basically put anything you want there based on this thing.
Right, no, all we're going to put is, you know, it's 10 feet of pipe. There will be a cable running through that pipe. That will all be underground. On the school property, there will be a, you know, pad-mounted transformer. It's one of those green.
On the sidewalk?
It will be on the school property. It's one of those green boxes, you know, I'm sure you've seen them before. And that's it, that's all.
Is there any noise out of this box? Does it hum? Does it do anything? Is it?
No.
Like a
it's-
transformer or-
Yeah, it's just like a transformer on a pole.
won't hear
only it's-
anything?
Nope.
It's my only concern.
That's good. Council Simon.
My question, you can't put your transfer underground and leave like an opening? Because I know we put one in front of my front lawn, and it's under the lawn, and so this way it doesn't affect.
I mean, we could, it's a lot more expensive to do that. We'd have to, open up a giant portion of school property to install a manhole big enough to fit a transformer down there. And it would have, you know, a hatch on one side and, you know, it'd be a much bigger disturbance to the.
How big is that?
I don't have the exact dimensions. It's probably, I don't know, 3 feet high and 3 feet wide.
And that would be on Dartmouth Street?
It'll be on the school property, but
on
on
Dartmouth
Dartmouth Street, yes.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I just have one question. If the neighbor does have a problem with the noise, if it does have noise, I know it doesn't, but if it does down the road, would they make accommodations if they have to put it down, if we have complaints?
Yeah, I mean, normally if they make a lot of noise, they're overloaded, and basically all we would do is just upgrade it to, you know, so it's not really running
Right. I
that
just don't
hard,
want
but.
the neighbors to have any complaints of if they do down the road, we have another option to change it or put something in the ground if they have to down the road.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Counsel Capone?
if we could, we still haven't finished the
Public hearing part, yeah.
If we could finish that part, and if there are any
Yeah,
other
you bring
questions,
it
we'll bring
back.
them right back up.
Beautiful, thank you.
Thank you.
Is anybody opposed to this petition? Is anybody opposed to this petition? Seeing none? Public service, motion made and second to close the public hearing. All in favor? Opposed? Matters before you. Just one quick question, and I may have missed this, and I believe was.
I want to get a card.
Is it Mr. Denis?
Benitez.
Benitez. Benitez, where is this going to be? What part of the school? Is it going to be next, is it going to be on Dartmouth Street?
I'll
Is
make
it
a
going to be
motion
on
to
the school
have,
property?
we'll have the petition come back up, Mr.
Yeah,
Chairman.
please come up for 1 second, please. Motion made to have the petitioner come back up. All in favor? Opposed? Where is, looking at the school?
Yeah,
Where
so-
will this be located?
Well,
It's not going to be down the end when they're doing the construction, is it? To the left?
it's going to, it's actually, the pole is on Spruce Street.
Spruce Street, yep.
Yeah, and we'll be, Dartmouth Street's 100,
Yep.
150 feet, to the west. And, yeah, it'll just be across the sidewalk on Spruce to, the back end corner of the
The
school
corner
there.
school, so I'm looking at the school being on the right-hand side and the corner of Spruce and Dartmouth, right?
Right, well, it won't be on the corner, it'll be further in on Spruce.
Further, okay, further
But,
on.
yeah. So if you're looking at the school
So
from
we near the
Dartmouth Street.
stairs?
Huh?
Past the stairs on Spruce Street?
It won't be near the stairs. We have a 10-foot clearance
Yeah.
that we need from stairs, exits, doors, windows.
All right. No, do we have any further questions here? Motion made.
This is going to be in the schoolyard?
It'll be in the back.
Not any
But-
place kids are going to be playing, is it?
No.
Okay.
Costello.
Just one more question.
Yes.
I know sometimes they'll put bushes around the transformers to kind of hide it from kids going there. Is that possible? Or is the whole schoolyard hot top when it's all said and done?
I honestly, I don't know. It would kind of be up to the school if they wanted to, if it's all up top, I mean, I guess they can't really plant anything there, but if,
Okay. If there's a complaint, we could always go back and,
It's only me, it's only
the
like.
school department could take care of that.
yeah, I mean, this was, discussed with the school department and, whoever the contractor was there, I'm sure it's all been.
Okay, thank you.
Council Capone.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do not want to belabor this any longer than we need to, but it's another excellent point brought up by one of the councils, Councilor Del Sola. I cannot beseech you enough to speak with the school department, work with them, because we are talking about the children. Maybe if there isn't the ability to put bushes, maybe there's some way to put a protective enclosure around it so that we don't have kids playing. The kids will be kids. So I would work with this, I would ask you, please consult with the school, see how and when, and then if it is going to be a weekend hour, whatever it's going to be, please be considerate of the neighbors as far as time frame.
Yep.
Okay?
I will also say, there's not going to be anything showing on this. They're all, yeah, I mean, when you can lean up against it, you can touch it, it's all locked. It's locked with a padlock, and then you need a hex wrench to open it. I mean, you can touch it, there's no electricity outside of this
As long as it's safe.
box, yeah.
That's the biggest concern that we have.
I'll throw one thing at you. If you really want to know what it looks like, go on Glendale Park, and there's one right there. Right across from the rec center, inside Glendale Park. It's probably double the size of what you're gonna be putting in. It's a big green box, if you're curious.
It's a green box.
Second motion.
Denise, thank you very much.
Second motion.
Motion made and second with favorable action. Roll call vote.
Councilor Capone.
Yes.
Councilor Del Sola.
Yes.
Councilor DeFlorio. Councilor Hanlon.
Yes.
Councilor Napolitano.
Yes.
Councilor Sachetta.
Yes.
Councilor Sani.
Yes.
Councilor Simonelli.
Yes.
Councilor Marchese.
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
The petition has been granted. Motion made.
Second motion.
Motion made and second adjourned. All in favor? Opposed? Sal.
Good luck, sir.
What's that?